Now, going back to loss and resilience, and I've lost.
Yeah.
When I look back, maybe that's why it doesn't faze me when business sometimes doesn't go according to plan.
Yeah.
I've lost bigger things, man. You know, when a business dies, you can resuscitate it.
Yeah.
But when your mother dies, you cannot resuscitate. You cannot get another mother. I can fail in one business, literally because I'm me. Ne? I'm me. Remember, you take you wherever you go.
Yes.
Like, I know that even if one thing doesn't work,
Yeah.
but I can get in and start another thing and make it work.
Absolutely.
But the loss of a parent, when I lost, I mean, I had an epiphany the other time. I was thinking about my brother, and I was thinking about my sister, and I told a friend, I'm like, if my siblings were here, I think even life would probably be slightly different.
Yes.
Because, I mean, my brother died just when I was about to graduate.
Sure.
He was killed. So the pain of that, the pain of actually, I actually picked my brother up on the street.
Oh, my
Sure.
God.
I'm the one beaten, unconscious, driven over by gang. So I picked the guy up there, and a couple of days later, he died. And after that, I didn't know how my life would be.
Yes.
Right? But it has taught me, if I've lost my brother, I've lost my sister, I've lost my mother, you know, I went through a divorce, and you guys would ask, how come you going through divorce but you're not grieving like someone who should? Bruh, I've dealt with bigger loss.
Sure.
Yes. Sure.
So it has helped me to know where to put loss and the gravity of things.
Yes. It gives you perspective.
Gives me perspective. Where do we put this loss? When a loss happens, I ask, where do we put it? If it's a business loss, I'm like, okay, it's a business loss. Life is still in me. Okay. So I can recover.
Yeah.
I've got, all I need is time.
I hear you.
I can recover this
So
thing.
you can feel it, but you know how to categorize it and put it in context. So it doesn't overwhelm everything now.
Yes, because entrepreneurs have got the tendency of making the business their life. The fact that I'm in property today and people call me the property guy doesn't mean if one day property fails,
Yeah.
I can't now have an identity. Hey, Haibo.
Yeah.
Haibo, I wasn't born with a
Marketing guy
property.
or
Me.
the whatever.
Hey, I can
Yes.
wake up. I studied. It's nice that you're saying marketing guy.
Yes.
I majored in marketing and business management.
And you are a natural marketer, even aside from that. It comes so naturally to you.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that part. and you know, Hetty knows these things. So if she's saying it,
Oh, absolutely.
so I look at that and I'm like, okay, you can pivot in life, man. For as long as there's life in you,
Yes.
you can pivot and be anything you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important lesson, and it's for all types of entrepreneurs actually, because I remember when we went through as well, and I didn't really have this perspective. The first store, so we used to have stores back in the day with African clothing. That was our first foray into entrepreneurship. And I remember after opening a couple of stores, the very first store that we closed, it was very, very, very emotional. Very, because now this had become part of identity and everything.
Jeez.
And
I have 20 stores.
Yeah.
And now, you
Feel
know,
like your
when
baby.
you talk about it, it's really useful because, you know, just to put it into perspective. Because, I mean, you know, there's different, more heightened senses of loss than a financial loss. You know? And I think, you know, when I look at you, I mean, it's been property, you know, an author, and the different areas that you're going into now. I mean, it's quite varied and showcases, and I keep going back to it, where sometimes one is going through different things in life and it doesn't really make sense. And when one looks back and they're connecting the dots, it then comes across like, I've actually got an unfair advantage here because I've experienced this and I'm able to deal with it way better than other people. And I say unfair because it's not something that you purposely sought out to have, but you have it, and now you're able to utilize it for yourself to make better decisions and to be able to make the changes that are actually required to move your life forward.
So there's something about adversity that actually draws out something in a man that's ready to grow. Adversity can either shrink you, or it can allow you to catapult yourself to a different level that you've never been. And I mean, I'm not sitting here saying everybody that goes through adversity, they make it. There are people who've been through not even circumstances half mine.
And it sinks them.
That sinks them, you know. So I think I'm quite blessed in the sense that I'm able to look at life and say, how do I navigate it? Without necessarily taking what's happening and internalizing it and making it part of my identity.
Yes.
I lost my mom. That's not my identity.
Yes. It's something you've experienced.
It's something I've experienced, right? I lost my brother. That's not my identity. If I lose a business, Papa, it's not my identity. That's why it's okay to start one business and see an opportunity in another one. And as long as you've got the skills for that one, start it. If you've got the skills to write a book, write it. Because one guy will say, why are you writing books? I've got the skills.
Exactly.
I've got the skills. Why are you on social media? I'm good at it. What must happen?
Why not you?
I mean, and besides, you know, when you do something, the feedback is in you receiving and understanding, I'm actually good at this thing.
Yes.
Right? And now the question becomes, and by the way, the fact that you're good at it, still, it's not your identity.
Yes. Even still.
Even still.
Yeah.
It's important for you to have an identity outside of what you do
Yes.
and what you have. Remember in the beginning I said I'm a child of God.
Yes.
That's my identity.
Yes. That's what you're rooted in.
My primary identity is that I'm a child of God. Now, obviously I've got parents, I've got a family, I've got somewhere where I come from. And knowing my roots also helps me understand that, okay, I've actually got a powerful lineage.
Yes.
I've got powerful people in my lineage.
Yes.
You know, when I look back, you know, some people will say, remember when they say Abraham's blessings are mine?
Yes.
And they say generational curses, whatever.
Yes.
Abraham, even you and your family, there are generational blessings.
Yes. Yes.
There are generational blessings. There are traits that your family has that if you look into and take it, you can actually use it to build your life. So I think in that manner, in terms of putting things into perspective, so that I don't overwhelm myself.
I love the roots analogy because if you think about a tree, if you are really rooted in something, everything else that we do in life is just exploring the different branches.
True.
And even when we look at a tree, there's season for everything. In autumn, sometimes the leaves fall.
Hey, and they do.
But then it gives way for new things to be able to come. And if we look at that store closure or that property deal that went bad or the business that closed as just another branch, and there's now room for something else to grow, it really does give such different perspectives. So thank you so much for that, because I think I'm going to take that away even just for myself, just that remembering that we are rooted in something